You are watching the number one podcast in the whole entire youth wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juanzo.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leek.
Together we are Raw Break and family. You probably wonder why are we doing AEW and not NXT this week, but something that really sad happened on Saturday. So we just thought that it would be a better idea to pay our respects, to give our tribute to this man right there that you see in the overlay, Mr. Brodie Lee, that unfortunately, passed to a better life, be with our Lord. And it was a pretty good show. AEW actually pay respects in the best possible manner. I think that they did everything. The whole show revolved around him, his memory, and they actually made us they celebrate his life. So that's the best thing that it could have happened. Paul.
Yeah, this show, I really liked it. I actually suggested to you, I was like, let's do the tribute show. I think it will just be a better show because you could tell AEW, not that you ever want to put on one of these shows, but they did probably one of the best tribute shows that I've ever seen just because, they weren't all which they had all right to be, but they were like you had just said, a celebration of his life. Let's celebrate. Everybody was fired up. All the matches, they had the legit energy, and they changed the card. But I still think it was a really exciting, really good show. Unfortunately, it was a show that nobody wished had to happen, but it was a good show.
Absolutely right. And, so we're going to be talking about all of this. The memory of Brodie Lee will live, in our lives forever just because he loved what we love. And, thank you for everything, Brodie. Rest in peace. And, this is what we got for you guys. But before, of course, thank you for all the subscriptions, the love that you guys give us every single day. We're really excited. We're closing 2020, in a really high note. And, that only, gives us more of an opportunity and also, a more commitment to every single one of you to deliver even better content and improve in every single way for all of you guys. So thank you so very much. Don't forget, on Saturday, we have the first annual Raw Break Awards. So, we're really excited. Jean-Paul and I were, and all of you, with the votes and everything. So, yesterday we revealed the first category. It was the first tag. Now, Jean-Paul is going to be talking about the best moment of the year and the nominees.
Yep, the best moment of the year. So our nominees that we picked up, what was shocked the wrestling world the most? Nobody saw Sting coming back, so that's you see there. We have Edge returning at the Royal Rumble as well. AEW and Impact, their relationship working together. And then, of course, The Undertaker retiring. And we also threw Thunderdome in there because if you go back and watch wrestling before the Thunderdome, before, kind of the fake crowd noise, it is completely different. So it does help, but we still need the fans back, and that's what we hope 2021 brings.
Yeah, absolutely. So, be with us for Saturday. It's going to be a great show. We're going to be talking about the winners with your votes. We're going to be dissecting everything and why, the votes came in. We're going to be counting and, the winners. So be with us for that. We really appreciate it. So now let's talk about, the beginning of the show with AEW. Started out with a lot of people wanted this, and AEW, the first thing that they always do, they deliver. So there you go, the 10-bell salute. You see the whole roster right there, and it was a really cool moment though. Very respectful, very meaningful, very significant what it was, because everybody was there. You could see everybody's just sad, but at the same time, touched by the life of Brodie Lee and how much he influenced every single one of these people.
Yeah, this was really good. I like this. It just, he said it's a shame that this company's so young, already had to suffer a loss like this. And it's not easy to lose anybody, but especially somebody like this who touched all these people's lives in such a short, amount of time. He only worked for this company for 10 months, and so many people he helped get over. And, we had poked fun at the Dark Order. Oh, they're a job group. Oh, this and that. But these guys were having fun. And what we saw tonight, when they put the silliness aside, all of them can go. All of them are hell of a wrestlers. So, this was really good. I like this, pay tribute to the great man that Brodie Lee was.
Oh, yeah, and you can see right there, it was his, son, Brodie Lee Jr., you saw the wife, Amanda, you saw the little son, and they were all, dressed, for example, you see the youngest son, with the outfit from Brodie Lee, you see Cody, Tony Khan, everybody, just, celebrating his life. This was a really good moment, and I feel that, that's how you should start a show. A lot of people, criticize WWE. We will not go into that because it's not needed. You know what? We got to celebrate the life of Brodie Lee. But, they started on a really good note. But we do want to go is, with the card right there, you guys can see we had really good matches. Like you said, everything was, evolving around Brodie Lee. So let's start with the first one, and that was, the Young Bucks and Colt Cabana and against Matt Hardy and Private Party. I like this match, Paul. I really enjoy this. good action like Boom Boom. Boom Boom was pretty legit. I gotta admit to you, Boom Boom like was there for me. He stole the show. Like Colt Cabana is so unappreciated, underrated, underestimated, everything under. But like he's actually a great wrestler.
Yeah, former NWA champ. Yeah, Colt's legit, but like you said, he does his personality. He's like, oh, I'm real nice, I'm goofy, I like to have fun, which is all legit. But in this match, he came out, he pretty much said like he was in the Dark Order, because at all these matches where the Dark Order was involved, they always had all the members come out, with them. So that was really cool, and he was fired up in this match, real legit, and it was good. I agree. He stole the show. Of course, the Bucks had to do the typical Bucks stuff. Oh, like we look legit. Road Warrior Nick, Road Warrior Matt. We don't know Cell. The brothers of Hulk Hogan. But no, they were good.
Hogan.
This was good. And of course, I don't mean this in a negative way, but we all knew none of the Dark Order's members or teams or any of them were going to lose in their matches.
Yes.
It was just, but I mean, just the in-ring action and everything was good. I do like, we did see a little dissension. There was, the private party kind of with Matt Hardy. They're like, ooh, I don't know, like this. So they're kind of baby face.
To Cassidy, I think it was.
Yeah. And so they're kind of baby face and like Hardy's heel. So maybe we're going to see a split. So a little bit of storyline, little progression going on with that group. But, at the end of this thing, they hit the BTE and not the BTE, excuse me, the
Meltzer driver.
Yeah, the Meltzer driver.
And then Cole did like a really funny pin combination.
Yeah, that's what he does. He does that like signature cover he does. I forget what they call like the Superman or something, because he does like the Superman pose and he like traps the feet and like, bends them over to pin him. But I mean, it was good. And I like how they gave him the pin and, good opening match.
I love, I love the bionic elbow. That always makes me pop. That's pretty legit. I really enjoy that. Also, I enjoy how the ginger and ginger ale or the ginger and juice.
The gin and juice.
The gin and juice. That is such a really cool move. So Private Party look really well, and like you said, Matt Hardy, you see a little bit of tension over there. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
and they didn't want to use it. So
the only bullshit was the famous thing that Jim Ross was criticized for complaining about was that all the other guys were on the outside and Colt did let me run and jump and land on everybody as they stand there and catch me. But this was good.
It is true, what you said is absolutely the truth. But if you appreciate wrestling in the aspect of flies and moves high spots and all of that, AEW is your thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because Matt Hardy, the Young Bucks, they are absolutely incredible at execution. So if that's the type of wrestling you love, there you go. AEW is your thing.
Exactly.
I saw when the Bucks did a few combinations, absolutely amazing. But and then we actually saw Top Flight also. They came out, they were just talking to them because of the match that they had last week for the titles. So
not Top Flight, the Acclaimed.
The Acclaim. Yeah. I'm sorry, Jean Paul. Like you said, always too many names. But the Acclaim came out with John Cena wannabe, because one of them has the gimmick of John Cena, Dr. Orthogonomics, and so you see the the storyline progression. So you see they had the show, but at the same time you have a little bit of storyline. So it is not that they completely went away from that.
Yeah, because didn't SCU come out and attack them again?
SCU coming out, so you see the storyline is going to keep progressing, because next week we're going to see the Young Bucks teaming up with SCU and going against the Acclaim and Top Flight. There you go. See, we got it all right. So we also saw a video package of Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley was right there, talking about his life of Brodie Lee, really good friends, independent scene. But Jon Moxley, he looked really in bad shape, meaning because he's still touched from the situation. There's a lot of reports that he's still shaken up, he's not, quite there. He's not really, hasn't really understood what happened. So you saw Jon Moxley completely done. So, and rightfully so. I mean, they're good friends and all of that. So that was cool. I mean, he was able to talk at least, because he's gonna come back next week. So that's pretty cool. So now let's move on to the next match, and that was just this was also a really great match. It's Eddie Kingston, the Butcher, and the Blade with the Bunny, and going against Lars Archer, Evil Uno, and Stu Grayson. This I want to tell you, this is probably the best match that Evil Uno and Stu Grayson have ever had. Finally they look like the tag team that when AEW first started running the shows, that's how they should be. And it sucks that Brodie had to die, because this guy should be used in this kind of fashion, because they made me believe that they're a legit tag team. And Lars Archer was really, really cool, because he came out as looking at with the gear of Luke Harper. So, everything had a meaning. Every single thing, even the entrances, the way they came out. So, everything was just done for the memory of Brodie. So, I got to applaud AEW for that.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with everything you said 100%. I do like on commentary too. They did say, they did say Luke Harper by name, like they're like, yeah, he was,
Jericho, yeah, did mention that, yeah.
he had many aliases and stuff. So I like how they acknowledged it. I do like the tribute by Lance Archer, and this was good. I agree with Evil Uno and Stu Grayson being legit in this match, and that's how I really wanted them to be at the start of AEW. I was one of those, you go back and look, and in the rope break archives, and I said they need, they had the first round bye in the tournament. They need to win. Put the belts on heels so you can have the babyface chase. Babyface always looks better in the chase as champion. The great Stone Cold Steve Austin says that as well. So I must be right on something. But this was, now they're finally looking legit. Like you said, it's a shame that that's what had to happen. But we'll see. And I mean, hey, it isn't for me, but there's nothing wrong with guys having fun and goofing off, I guess. So however they wanted to present the group. But this match, it was all business. It was all legit. And, Kingston, he came out, he's like, Brodie, John, I love you, but, I'm going to kick your boys' asses tonight. He's like, he's like, we're going to win this match. So Kingston was still, his character still good. He always keeps kayfabe, so that's good. But I really enjoyed this match as well.
Oh, yeah, it was really great. And, towards the end, I really loved the finisher. The finisher was just like, they did like a blockbuster from the top, like Stu Grayson did blockbuster, and then Evil Uno kind of had it like, had one of the guys, I think it was Eddie Kingston. Yeah, he had Eddie Kingston on it. Like they do a big blockbuster, and then Evil Uno was the one that pinned him. Mm-hmm. So you saw like a lot of the good stuff, and also after that, also like the Snake hit one of the, remember like the chokeslam.
Oh yeah, the short arm.
He did like a signature clothesline.
The short arm clothesline, which set up the DDT.
Yep. Yeah, it's like I was waiting for the DDT. I was like, please do it.
I know. I think if Jake hit a DDT, I don't think he would get up. They like Luke Harper there would have to pick him up.
Yeah, it's true though. But like, it was really cool. So like, see everybody, even the fact that the Snake went out of his way and didn't move, it means that like they all appreciate and love this man. And unfortunately, like you said, he's no longer with us, but he's with us and at heart, because if you forget somebody, that's when you really lose them. But like, it was really cool, and you see like at least the storyline progression is still there. I mean, now like, and it's sad that like just cash in on this one for the Dark Order, made them look good. Give them what you should have given them from the beginning of AEW. At least use this as like a stepping stone for them. Because Stu Grayson and Evil Uno, they deserve better. At least just for me, they just deserve better.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the way that like everybody looked in, tonight, I think a lot of them, you could really make this group be legit if you wanted to. You still can do right by this group as a whole.
Oh yeah, absolutely, Paul. So now let's go to the next match, and the next match is is Adam Hangman Page, John Silver, and Alex Reynolds going against the Inner Circle, MJF, Santana, and Ortiz. Like, this match was absolutely good too. I like the interactions that they had, and like you said, the Dark Order, pretty much the members of the Dark Order, they look really great. I feel that like John Silver and Alex Reynolds, that you can still catch them on them if you will have them in a tag team also, like maybe not that going against, of course, the Stu Grayson and Evil Uno, but at least, they should be the second ones in contention for titles. Or maybe now, Adam Hangman Page should become the leader of the Dark Order. Maybe I'm just like going too much in storyline and not just focusing on what the show was, but I really enjoy this. And MJF gave us just MJF, which is good, a great heel. And, Santana and Ortiz, unfortunately, they just a little bit lost, but they look good in this match.
Yeah, I really like Santana and Ortiz, like Jericho was saying on commentary. They're back, so they're going to be legit moving forward 2021. I'm excited for them. I hope at some point in that year, that they put the belts on these guys because they deserve it. I like Hangman Page. I don't know if he's probably my favorite in AEW, but I don't know if I'd make him the leader of the Dark Order, but keep doing the storyline. This is good. I was hoping that this would have eventually led to a match with him and Brodie Lee. Maybe Hangman was interested in it. I'll be the leader. Then Brodie comes back. But so I'm sure all plans have changed. So I don't know what they're going to do with that. But I like this match. I like, John Silver, Alex Reynolds, how they came out. And, John Silver, who I always say was like Hornswoggle on steroids. Mm-hmm. He's like the funny one. He's probably the goofiest out of all the Dark Order guys, but I really like Alex Reynolds as a wrestler. I think he's really good. John Silver, even though he is funny, is really good as well. And to me, MJF, even though like it was like a prick, but he was like the star of this coming out. he was like got in -1 or -1, whatever, Brodie Lee Jr. He got in his face and was like, oh, screw you, blah blah blah.
He took away the mask.
He pulled off the mask and stuff. So really got in the kid's face and just he plays that gimmick. He plays the heel so good.
And that's what that's what wrestling is all about, living your gimmick. We always said that. Mm-hmm. And then the kid reacted like Brodie Lee Jr. like hit him with the kendo stick that took him out, and that was like the best moment of the night. And AEW, like WWE is not good at this anymore because of course like all the reports and all like spoilers that they do. But like what, AEW at least keeps that like the WCW mentality with Nitro. This guy shows up, Eric Rowan. Out of nowhere, Eric and like Redbeard, that's how they call him in NWA. He comes out to say bye to his friend. That was really cool. We were not going
to because in this, Wardlow, Aubrey Edwards was distracted, so like Wardlow came out, and I forget who he laid out. I believe it was one of the Dark Order members. He laid him out, so Wardlow standing there like duh, and then commentators like he's not even a part of this. What the hell's going on? And then like I said, nobody knew this. There was nothing. Eric Rowan comes out, lays him out. And so legit, that to me was the biggest and the best thing of this whole entire night. And I have nothing better to say. AEW, like I said, I take my hat off. They knocked this show out of the park.
Oh yeah, like he comes out, he did the choke slam, like he had like his interaction, and then he took away Wardlow, and the match continued. And then it was John Silver. He did a discus clothesline. He did like the signature move from Brodie Lee, and then he pinned. And keeping Santana and Ortiz and also MJF. So you see like this was like the most touching part because all of them were crying. Reynolds, like Silver, even like Rowan, and see like this beautiful message that he has. Goodbye for now, my brother, but see you down the road. So like you see how much like love he had, and the fact that he just showed up. Maybe we're not speculating he has a contract. That's not important right now. But the fact that he was able to just be there for his friend.
The one thing where he had a sign. Because he didn't tweet right away. I think it took him a day or two to tweet. If you gave him a microphone, he probably couldn't speak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the sign was, that was perfect. He had the sign, and he made the impact. And like, you said, if he does get signed, I would love to see it. But, that's not important. But I really hope that they do sign him because I think they'll do right by him.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, he's a guy. This guy has a bright future. Also, he's a great wrestler. Like, unfortunately, WWE didn't know what to do with him. Remember, like when you used to do Monday Night Raw reviews, and like we didn't know what was inside of like like the cage.
Well, yeah, to me it was To not go too off topic, I like the bodyguard of Daniel Bryan, but then after that.
Yes, so like about like, hey, that's what a friend it is, and that's something that I wanted to say from the beginning of the show. Is like AEW made you feel that like everybody right there is a family. It's like we are the Road Break family, like they have the AEW family. One day we hope that both families like collide, and then we stay a bigger family. But like they give you that sensation that like we're all sad that this guy left us. Our friend,
because they're allowing all these wrestlers to be real and genuine.
Yes.
Where in WWE, they're like, okay, well, like, what's WWE's mentality? The show must go on. You're not going to change our show, which, we're not going to get into it. But like AEW, they did this right. Like I said,
yeah, they did it right. So like, good for Eric Rowan. That shows how good of a friend. Bray also is probably feeling really excited and proud of what happened. Also Braun, because remember that's the original lineup for the Wyatt family. Now let's go with the girls. This was actually not too bad of a match, and like Jean Paul will say, easy in the eye. Easy in the eye with Anna Jay, Tay Conti, and also Dr. Britt Baker and Penelope Ford. They gave us a pretty decent match. Like not maybe the Britt Baker is probably the best wrestler out of the four of them. But the spots were decent. It flew. There was like a pretty good stuff, but like it's not perfect. But I like it. They had a women's match, and also Anna Jay, the emotion, because Anna Jay also was trying to do the claw. Like the toe in some spots of the match, and then she did, and then she almost starts crying. Even Jericho was like, "What the hell are you doing? You're supposed to win, and then you got to focus on the match." But it was good regardless.
Yeah, this was really good. I'm a big fan of Anna Jay. Like I said, not just because she's easy on the eyes, but every time I see her, I always say I think she's getting better. And in this tag match, it was a little bit hard to see, and the emotions were, her mind obviously isn't on the match. It's it's probably just thinking about Brodie, this whole time. So not really into it probably, but she's really good. For the little bit of experience she only has, I think she's, probably one of the best women that they have employed, not counting
Yes.
Serena Deeb or Thunder Rosa, like their own women. But, this was good. Tay Conti's not bad either. I think she's, like, the more she wrestles, she's going to get better, and she's going to be one of the, the leaders of this women's division in the years to come. Penelope Ford, to me, is like Alexa Bliss, but a little bit better. Where it's like if she would just stand next to Kip Saban for her whole career, I'd be like, that's fine. I don't need to see you in the ring. But Dr. Britt Baker, yeah, she's the baddest bitch on the block, like she says. She's good. But, I like the ending of this thing. She gets the Queen Slayer on. It was on Penelope Ford, correct?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, she gets a Queen Slayer on Penelope Ford. Yeah, that's right, because Tay Conti pulled Britt Baker out of the ring, so then she couldn't break it up. She taps, and, like we had said, all the Dark Order members are going to win, like they should. This was just a feel-good show. This is just a celebration of Brodie Lee's life. So, this was good for what it was. And I like after the match how Britt Baker was like, oh, this is rigged. That's rigged. This is all just a big rig, which was one of Brodie Lee's names on the Indies, Big Rig. So, Britt Baker got her little tribute in there. And as she's standing there smiling, shit-faced, ha, ha, ha. Thunder Rosa comes out, attacks her, so
yeah, so
still,
like, you see the
still
feud
keeping that feud alive. Yep,
still feud, like still there, and that's cool because the whole thing was about Brodie, but every like pieces you just get a little bit of storyline. Hey, we haven't forgotten about everything, so it was good. I like that, and I'm really loving that Thunder Rosa is going to be on AEW. She's going to be the leader of that division with Hikaru Shida. Imagine when Statlander comes back. That's also going to be great. So AEW at least is doing it right with like most of the women. Imagine like a Tessa maybe down the line, but that will be a topic for another show.
Yeah, Tessa would be like their Charlotte. I feel that would like be like the legitimacy in their division. Even though Thunder Rosa, I would say, is better. Maybe cause some controversy there, but it would still be a legit for their women.
For me, Thunder Rosa it could easily be the best one of all of them. But for now, and hopefully, like they made him champion. We'll see what happens with Abaddon and Hikaru Shida. That's going to be a match for next week. For the Bash of Celebration. We'll see what happens on that. So now let's go to the main event. Paul, this is a match that was like chosen by -1 or Brodie Lee Jr.'s. Like his son, it was like 10 with Orange Cassidy and Cody Rhodes going against Brian Cage, going against Will Hobbs, and also Ricky Starks. This was a pretty good showing also. It was a dream match. He wanted to see it. He was actually the last show that like they taped or something, and Brodie was there. He pinned Kenny Omega, so he won the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Supposedly like, they do that all the time, with the kids, like with the children of the wrestlers, that they do that. They don't, supposedly they tape it sometimes. So like they did that. So hey, it was maybe a premonition. We don't want to just say that, but it was cool. It was a feel-good moment for him. So I like it. What do you think about this match? It was a feel-good moment for me.
Yes, I like this match. I was a really big fan of 10 whenever he would wrestle. Normally, it was in job matches. Some of the matches would go a little contested, or, on AEW Dark, I'd see highlights or something if somebody would retweet it. And, 10 is really good. And he was picked for in this match, and I saw this picture because he was the first besides Evil Uno and Stu Grayson, I guess, recruited by Brodie Lee. So there was a picture of him with Brodie Lee, and then a picture of 10 with Brodie Lee's son, or Brodie Lee Jr., whatever. But so that was really cool. Like this picture, he's like, I hope I don't let you down, all this stuff. So really touching tweet, and it was really good. I like this match. I thought he was the star. I was, of course, like I always have to say it, or else it wouldn't be me. Cody had to get his huge big entrance, and it's like but this was really good. I like this match. Like I said, to me, the 10 was the star of this thing. Another thing to note on commentary, Chris Jericho, he much watched Rope Break, because I've said this a few times. He said, doesn't Ricky Starks remind you of a Dwayne Johnson?
Yes, he did say that. That.
So
they acknowledged The Rock also.
They didn't say The Rock. They said Dwayne Johnson.
Yes, yeah. So. Like, he did say that. And also, like, 10 got, like, the upper hand. He got, like, also, like, the feel-good moment, the last spots of the match. He did really good. Cody did, like, Crossroads, and also, like...
Yeah, Orange Cassidy hit the orange punch into the Crossroads, and then he hit the Spine Buster.
He did the Spine Buster, and then he did, the baby faces win, heels lose, and then there were the feel good moment, everybody's happy, but then you kind of saw Taz, Will Hobbs, and everybody else from Team Taz like just attacking me even more. And then that's the part that like maybe, like you say, maybe they keep overdoing it, but I mean for this show I guess it's justified. It's just justified because like, we had to see Darby Allin coming out, and because they're gonna have the match next week. He's going to defend the TNT Championship against Brian Cage. And then we had to say, and the snow. and it's Sting. So you got to see like Sting reunited with Darby Allin. Darby literally looks like his kid. You know, with the face paint, is like he's like, you know, he's an 18-year-old kid that like is just a rapper or just he likes like emo stuff. But I mean, it's good for what it was.
It's the dad taking his kid to the Kiss concert.
Yes, you know, it's like we're gonna have fun at seeing Kiss, but like. So you see, like they're gonna have the match, and we mentioned this in the reviews prior that we've done. We said that like these three guys, like with Cody, alongside Cody, they're gonna go against like Team Taz. So that's gonna how it's like Sting's gonna have a match.
And
go ahead.
That was for me, just, you know, everything they did for Brodie Lee legit, but this wasn't for Brodie Lee. So here we go. Now Jean Paul is talking. You can't keep doing Sting 3-4 weeks in a row where he comes out and does nothing, and then the heels just retreat. You know, like I don't care if he comes out with unless Sting comes out with a gun, the heel should be retreating. He's a 61-year-old man, and you got Will Hobbs, Brian Cage, Taz, Hook. I couldn't even remember his name because it's so stupid. And then Will Hobbs. So you have all these guys, and it's like, you know, you could take down Sting. Now, if they would be coming and Sting would be whacking them in the head with the bat, which we should have seen already, you know, but it's like they don't know what to do with Sting. They're like, shit, we signed a 61-year-old guy to a multi-year deal and he can't even wrestle.
Yeah.
Like, so we'll see.
The only just to go along with your idea, I don't think that they should keep having it every single show because it becomes from like a great.
What did you say about Drew McIntyre coming out with the Claymore and the kill and the flames?
You know, the kill, then and then the sword. The same thing. It's just like if you keep doing it, it's like Judas every single time that Jericho is out. It becomes just like part of the show, and then it's not significant.
Overexposed,
overly done, and like have Sting. Maybe in this show, I guess if he would have came out and maybe just acknowledged like Brodie Lee, like, maybe he with the bat he points out at Brodie, fine. But also there's not even a really real relationship. Maybe because maybe the time that they were in WWE, that would have been, oh yeah, we met each other, all blah blah blah. But like I guess this is gonna prolong the storyline between them, which is okay. We'll see what happens. We'll see if Sting actually wrestles. And you said what's gonna happen. You already predicted. So hey, he'll just be like on the outside for most of the match. He'll do like the Scorpion Dead Drop, Scorpion Leg Drop, and done. So that's what is going to happen. So like that's how the show was possibly about to end. It was about to, and then they have a tribute for Brodie Lee, and then like before that, Tony Khan and Cody, they gave -1 or Brodie Lee Jr. They gave the TNT Championship, and they said your dad is going to be the greatest TNT champion of all time. And then you see his wife Amanda crying, like a really good moment, really I will say significant. One more time, I keep using this word because that's what this show was to me. So you saw how AEW really appreciated this man.
They really honored. Yeah, they really honored the his whole family, especially. And one thing I really like how the son, Brodie Lee Jr. wore the mask. One, because it's like, that's probably not easy for a kid because he's old enough to, like they said, the other son is a little too young. He kind of really doesn't know what's going on kind of deal. But like this son, he's old enough and it's like, maybe he doesn't want his face to be seen or hiding all this emotion. I like the mask and, just to kind of keep the kid, safe or whatever, or to feel safe. But this was really good, the way they honor him and his wife, and his whole family.
Oh yeah, now it was great. Like how this picture just says it all. Tony Khan, Cody, like they are, like I said, when it comes to like family, how they handle their people that work with them, how they handle the staff, their crew, the wrestlers.
Don't be surprised if they have a Hall of Fame in a couple years and they put Brodie Lee in it.
Yeah, Brodie Lee will be the first inductee because, like you said, it's really sad for a company that just started. It has a year and a few months. One of their biggest names.
Yeah. And it's one of the things where, like, you might have detractors, you might have people that be like, oh, well, all he did was, he was a TNT champion for 2 weeks or 3 weeks and, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, but, the Hall of Fame shouldn't really be about that. It's like, look at all these people who he touched that work for this company.
Yes, exactly. So, it should be like the impact that he had on people's lives, and that's what Brodie Lee did right there. And then they gave us, like, a really nice tribute celebrating the life of Brodie Lee. And the song, a lot of people probably wonder what was the song that was playing at that time, and it was "Don't" by Billy Currington. There you go. So like I took the time to search for the lyrics for every single one of you.
There it is.
By Billy Currington. That's the song that it was played in that nice video package. Throughout the whole night, we heard Darby Allin also talking. He's like, I want to face this guy. He was humble. He didn't have any ego. He didn't mind putting people over. We didn't see Jungle Boy or like Marco Stunt, but everybody like around in this couple of days they've been putting stories about him. Jericho even put the story that he was actually a very educated man, and that was actually his low point in WWE because like Vince wanted him to be just a regular Southern guy. And not this eloquent, educated man that he actually happened to be. So, there you go. That's kind of like the incoherences of life, or like how ironic it can be. Like that you can be that educated.
Well, like they said, don't judge a book by its cover.
Yes, look what is inside. And, people that actually got to see the inside of Brodie Lee, they were able to see how much of a great person he was and a beautiful human being that has left. But he's left in just body because in the spirit, he's with every single one of us. He's probably watching Road Break at this moment. So thank you, Brodie, for that. So, that was the show, family, for every single one of you. A great, great tribute, a great memorial for the memory of like what it was, Brodie Lee.
Exactly. And next week, that this show was great. And next week for Dynamite, I think is going to be great as well. They're kind of getting back on track. We're going to see the match, Kenny Omega, Phoenix, all that stuff. So they ran through that card. So I'm looking forward to it. But Dynamite, like I said, this is a show you never want to have to do, but the show that Dynamite gave us was fantastic.
Oh yeah, hands down, a pretty, great show, and I'm glad that you said let's do Dynamite because I didn't miss something that it was really moving and touching, and what it makes us think that like despite of wrestling, our love for it, we have to remember there's also a family. And, like that's the beauty of life. You appreciate the little things, and this is the pretty much we're about to close this year, so everybody has families, loved ones, appreciate them, love them, be with them, because sometimes these things happen and you wish you would. So, wishing that is really sad for the soul. So just do it. If you have somebody, tell them you love them, tell them you miss them, fix things, family. So, the one thing you can fix for us is also don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. Every single day we put things. Jean Paul will be back tomorrow with NXT. Hopefully NXT UK. Let's see what happens with the show. So, where else can they find us, Paul?
Yep, and you can also find us on Rope Break on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, and of course, right here on YouTube. Like Juan said, you already clicked that bell, and you already clicked subscribe to the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
Thank you, family, and don't forget to vote. Rope Break Awards on Saturday, And
don't worry, these ballots won't get lost in the mail, baby. We get them directly.
No. It will not take us, like 3-4 months to announce the winners. No, it's just going to be Saturday. So, family, thank you so very much. We'll see you tomorrow. Jean Paul, you and me have one more thing that is left to say. That is...